Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sorting Hat Podcast, the show where everything and anything can and will be sorted. I, as always, am your host, Michael Barryte, joined by my co-host, Brice.
Hey, folks, how's it going?
Hey, you might notice that the sound quality a little bit different. It's because we're recording from a hotel room here at Playlist Live Orlando 2018. And the benefit of that is we get to have people who aren't located in Los Angeles with us. And today, we're joined by Azalea Hart.
Hi.
Azalea, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm excited.
The very basic conceit of our show, for those of you who might be listening for the very first time, is we are joined by an expert or fan on a topic, and we sort the things within that knowledge base into the various houses of Hogwarts. And Azalea, while having a wildly popular YouTube channel that predominantly focuses on pop culture and Disney, also has a a secondary channel that primarily focuses on Trinidadian culture. And so that is what we are going to be sorting today.
My passion.
And, I have to make the assumption, because we always ask the question of, what led you to be interested in this thing? Is it safe to say that you have a Trinidadian background?
Yes, I'm Trini. Both parents. I wasn't born there, but the rest of my siblings were. There's 5 of us, and they were born. I was born in Canada.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's where you live now?
And I live in Toronto, yes.
Yes, all right. So I guess then, as far as sorting bias is concerned, I am a Ravenclaw, Reed is a Hufflepuff, and Azalea is a Gryffindor.
Hey.
I see.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So I suppose let's just dive into Trinidadian culture. You mentioned that there are several different aspects that we can be covering. However, one that we almost started talking about off mic, and so I suppose let's start with that. You described carnivals as a huge part of the culture.
Yes.
So I suppose we'll sort individual subsets, and then maybe we can sort the whole thing.
Okay, cool.
And maybe they'll be the same, maybe they'll be different. So carnivals.
Yes.
Let's get the blanket statement of what carnivals are.
Yeah, if you're going on carnival, what you expect there?
Okay, well, first of all, I'll say that Trinidad Carnival is the greatest show on earth. That's what they call it.
Okay.
And it absolutely is. When you're thinking carnival, you're thinking nonstop partying, you're thinking no sleep, you're thinking insane amounts of alcohol. And, of course, the last 2 days of carnival, used to be the last 2 days. Now the parties continue afterwards. Is Carnival Monday and Tuesday. And that's when you go out in... Monday is Monday wear, is what you would wear. So it would kind of be swimsuits, monokinis, but the fashion of it has blown up. So it's super, super fashion forward now. And then day 2, which is Carnival Tuesday, you're wearing your pretty mask. So those are your costumes with all the feathers and jewels and sparkles. And
so it goes from slightly more minimalist to a little bit more gaudy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like the carnival that we might celebrate here in the United States, is it as tightly associated with religion as say the ones that you would have in Louisiana or any other Catholic based carnival celebrations?
Well, carnival started in the Caribbean, in Trinidad, we'll say, because it started in Trinidad and went
and
larger.
Out.
Oh, okay.
Right, but it started after slavery. So it was just a celebration of freedom, and really what it was Trinis the Africans were kind of dressing up like the colonizers and making fun kind of thing.
That
but
rules.
Now, yeah, and then it just ended up being a huge street party, and it grew. Granted, the costumes are a lot smaller now than they once were. They were actual costumes at one point.
Yeah.
I'm talking big flowers or whatever. You think of a costume.
Yeah,
but
way more elaborate.
Now they're, bikinis with beads and things
So
like
it shifted
that.
from almost a Halloween sort of situation to a bit more of a fashion show.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yes.
But you're still holding on to that spirit of feeling free and being able to do whatever you want to honor the original intent of the first carnival. That rules.
The principle still stands, and it's exactly that freedom, that feeling of freedom and that euphoric. I don't know. It's something that I can't really put into words. It's just that a feeling that. It's
you're with a whole bunch of other people who are all happy and going crazy for the same reasons. Yeah, there's nothing like that.
And everybody's family in those during carnival time. Everybody is
Yeah.
family. There's very minimal crime going on because the criminals want to have fun too.
Yeah, everybody's taking the day off.
Everybody's no crime for carnival.
Yeah, if you're the criminal like criming during carnival, you're just kind of like you're boring in that situation.
See, like even in The Godfather took the day off to get married. That's why he was so mad when he's like, "You're gonna ask me this one on my daughter's wedding day? It's my day off."
Right? Exactly.
So within carnivals, you've mentioned parties a little bit, but then you also said that there's mass. I suppose we should be discussing both parties and mass separately, and then we'll really dive into the sorting.
Okay, sure. So parties go on for about a month before carnival actually starts. So I normally go to Trinidad 3 weeks before carnival, Monday and Tuesday, so that I can go to every party possible. So when I tell you parties are every single day, 4 parties a day type of thing, it's like you're going to a breakfast party that might start at 3 a.m. and go till 11, and then you're going to a day party that's probably around noon to 5 p.m. Then you're going to an evening party, and then you're going to an overnight party.
Wow.
And then you're continuing and going to a breakfast party, and you're going again. Not everybody can do the 3 to 4 parties a day, but I can. I am a pumper, but I'll tell you, so a pumper is like somebody that just keeps going.
Gotcha.
The thing is that I can do it, but I lose my voice. I have no voice when I'm in Trinidad for carnival, maybe for my first 3 days, but the amount of alcohol that I'm drinking, and I drink Hennessy, is insane. So
just a brand endorsement there.
You know what I mean? They should sponsor me. I don't know if it's the alcohol, or if it's singing the songs, or trying to talk to people over the music, or if it's the no sleep, but I always lose my voice, and it's the worst. But, and all the parties are drinks inclusive, for the most part. And if they're not drinks inclusive, they're cooler parties where it's you're bringing your own alcohol to the party. So,
in all cases, the alcohol is flowing.
Nonstop.
Okay.
And that's just
but so is the food. Like, the parties are all inclusive, so it's food and alcohol.
Yeah. Because this is for, like, these parties are for, like, most everybody, or is this more, like, mostly for the adults and the children? Or is it, like...
No children.
No children. Okay, cool.
Yeah, all adults.
And so, with, is there... Because you mentioned there are, like, 4 different types of parties. Do those parties have different events attached to them, or...
Yeah. So some of the parties, we're
breaking it down even more now.
Yes. So if it's a breakfast party, some breakfast parties could be beach breakfast parties. So those would consist of maybe just wearing a swimsuit to the party.
Yeah.
Some other breakfast parties are, you would dress more upscale, like island chic. Maybe something like what I'm wearing right now. So like a romper, but you're dressy. Then there could be like a Juve breakfast party, and a Juve is a party where it's all paint, powder, mud, water trucks, and I'm talking big water, maybe not a fire truck, but big water trucks that are hosing you down with water.
What?
Yeah, so you have cups with lids like these, like tumblers.
Yeah.
So you go to the drinks truck, and you get your drink, but you have your lid on so that when people are throwing paint and powder and all these things on you, you're not getting it in.
That's... I feel like we can just be sorting just... Those you just listed 3 party types for breakfast.
For breakfast parties, yeah.
Oh my goodness. You're like blowing my mind in a lot of different ways. Okay.
But then I could even do Juve parties. So some Juve parties are just paint and powder. Some are oil, which you would get in Grenada, which is like actual car oil. I don't even know how they wash that off their skin, but I'm going to do it one day. And then some are chocolate.
Oh, so is it like depending on like what... Do like different cities have different things that they like to do, or is it just like
Grenadian culture is something called jab, and so they'll do all like oil, and their thing is super cool, and it's authentic to just Grenada. They'll have, I don't know if anybody's vegan or what the case is, but they have pigs, and I don't know if these are live pigs. I'm assuming they're dead pigs. They're full pigs in a stroller. I don't know what the significance of this is, but they have the full pig. They have a pig sitting in a stroller, and then they're covered in oil. They have the big, I don't know what they're called again, the horns.
Yeah.
Horns on their head, and they have like branches off of trees, And anyways, it's called Jab Jab.
Oh.
And they have chains around their neck, like one big long chain, and I'm assuming it's something to do with slavery.
Yeah,
I'm gonna assume, and I feel like I should really know, but I don't.
So like most likely we can infer like all the different parts have like a significance,
symbology
like that.
to it.
Well, not all carnivals, but mainly Grenada does, and then there's just other ways to make it more fun. So Trinidad will do. Some are just full chocolate, just chocolate.
So this is a
Juve.
Grenada Juve.
Grenada's the oil and the pig and those things. Yeah.
That's a specific breakfast-themed party that involves, you said oils?
Car oil, like
car
black
oil.
car oil.
And Juve parties in general are the ones with like paint and powder. Those are the ones that you're getting a little bit more dirty.
You're getting very dirty.
I'm going to say we start just sorting that. And we're gonna balloon out. I know we initially were like, we're gonna deal with all of Trinidadian culture, but as soon as we started going into parties, we've entered a rabbit hole, guys.
I don't know. I feel like though, for the most part, we're gonna have to sort most of these Gryffindor because it's all like the idea of carnival in general is like, we beat slavery. There's not a more brave thing you can do. And you're like, no, actually, you don't own me.
That's true.
And also we're gonna live out loud as much as we want. We're not, we have like very specific things to our culture that we're going to celebrate. I think every part of this is like Gryffindor as hell.
Well, so with the Juve, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
You had mentioned one of the other breakfast parties that was a little more like cash as far as...
Yeah, very dressy, kind of a stush vibe.
Yeah.
Girls are not necessarily whining. Whining is, people say twerking, but Caribbean girls don't twerk, we whine. So girls are not like whining down to the ground or doing splits in the middle of the party or spinning on their head top. They're not doing those things in a breakfast party. Breakfast party, you're a little bit stush and it's hot and the sun is just coming up and you're not trying to sweat out your hair, sweat out your makeup, so you're just kind of vibing.
See, something like that to me seems a little Hufflepuff in nature. Maybe even actually Slytherin, just based off of like, it's sort of like sizing up everybody.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
Like the next party that you go to, I'm assuming like, would the breakfast party be like the beginning of your day? Usually?
Yes.
Because then you'd be like meeting somebody at this party and being like, I've got a party for us to go to, and that'd be like the next level.
I see.
So that's where like the Slytherin part of me is like, it's calculating things. It's making things like piece together and get a little excited.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we've sorted 2 of breakfast parties.
Yes.
Let's move on. This is afternoon parties now?
Yeah, so afternoon parties, for the most part, they would also be pretty dressy, but they're going to be maybe a food or... I would say if we're going to go with the sorting, they would also be kind of Slytherin, because the all-inclusive parties are quite expensive. They might be around $2 to $250 US for a party. So for one, the prices are so high because it's all premium alcohol and premium food.
Sure.
So you're not going to get regular Johnny Walker Red Label. You're going to get Johnny Walker Gold, Johnny Walker Blue in abundance. Like they're pouring it in your cup, upside down.
Right. Again, rep Azalea. She wants those brand deals.
Absolutely. And then they kind of want to not have just anybody attend.
Sure.
So the cream of the crop is kind of there.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just trying to like exclusivity because we're going to be serving nothing but the best.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that like the people who come.
Yes.
They've invested that money in that time, so they're not going to be acting a fool
Is
necessarily.
that for all parties kind of have that high cover, or is that more like later in the day?
As long as it's all parties.
Gotcha.
Yeah, as long as it's food inclusive, food and drinks inclusive. It will range from $150 to $250 US.
Cool. Okay, so we're at our afternoon party. Things are starting to heat up a little bit, both during like day wise, but also maybe on the dance floor.
Yes. So the sun is blazing on your head at this point.
Because you're in the Caribbean, and around. You said this. I saw like this took place like a month ago, right? In March, around
February.
Okay. Okay. So is it still pretty hot though? Because you're closer to the equator even than
It's
we are.
so hot. Oh my gosh! But it's not unbearable.
Right.
And I found an awesome hairspray that didn't make my hair curl.
Oh.
So I was very happy. That's a stress.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to go to this party and sweat because my hair will start to curl.
You're like, so you were coming out, but like also like, but it was keeping good shape.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find when you're
very
when you're in like a tropical climate,
especially when you're me and you're mixed and your hair is thin and curly and you straighten it.
Yeah.
But
there are a lot of elements working against you in that moment, but you won.
Exactly. So Trinidad was in February, but I just came back from Jamaica Carnival, which was in April.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. So there was 2. But so those are the day parties.
Gotcha.
I would say generally the same.
Okay, and so now we're into evening.
Yeah, so evening parties, you're going to get a little bit more performances by soca artists. So it's more of a concert-y vibe. Mm-hmm. Also going to be drinks inclusive or a cooler party. I would say the wilder parties do happen in the evenings. Mm-hmm. That is when... And if it's a day... Okay, so let me just backtrack a little bit.
Sure,
if it's a day party, it may also be a boat cruise. So it could be a cruise party.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So on a boat. So if it's on a boat, it's never stush vibes. Mm-hmm. It's people hanging from the railings, whining on somebody's shoulders. Like, it's... crazy. It's crazy stuff. Not me though. I like to just, be in the sidelines. I'm a little bit stush vibes, I'm not gonna lie.
Especially if the family's listening. Stush vibes all day.
Dad, stush vibes all day. I don't let anybody touch me, but no, really, I hate being touched in a party, especially if everybody's sweaty. I'm like, oh God, don't touch me.
Especially if it happens where you can't see it at first. I want to die.
When someone comes up behind you to dance, you mean?
Have you ever just been... I'm transgender, so I lived as a woman for a long time. Yeah. Like, I don't think there's any, like feeling more than, like, when you're just dancing and then somebody's gross big hand is just on your back or something.
The worst.
Because you're like, first of all, I'm gonna have to give this fool an earful of, like, don't touch people without asking, but also... It's a much larger person than me that I have to deal with this.
With that being said, Trinidad actually Yes, it was this year that they kind of passed a law that you can't just come up to somebody and dance with them, like men.
Oh, man, that
you have to ask permission.
Yeah.
And so it became a huge thing this year. People had like signs, or they print on their shirt like, do I have permission? Can I have permission for a wine? And they'll show you your shirt. And it kind of became... something that was kind of cute. Yeah. Because now they're asking permission. So now you're like, okay, that's kind of cute.
It's actually going back to, like, when you look at all those classic movies where it's like, may I have this dance? Like, it's that, but, like, obviously a club setting.
But also, like, we also teach boys, like, you should just be way too aggressive and assertive, and then they forget, like, I should probably be checking in with the person I'm being aggressive and assertive with. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong with making the first move, but you have to make sure the other person even wants to play the game.
Right, exactly.
That rules. I love that.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
We should make it a law here, too. You have
everywhere.
You have to ask permission to talk to a woman.
Yeah.
In general.
So we have boat parties in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And now,
boat parties are all day. They could be breakfast. They could be...
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're anytime.
And now we're in the evening time. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you again when you claimed... afternoon is seemingly across the board Slytherin. So now we're in the evening. It's leaning in what direction as far as you said there are shows?
Yes, more of a concert vibe. Now there's definitely going to be performances in every party. There's only some parties that are strictly DJ based, but a lot of the parties will definitely have maybe 1 or 2 performers of the biggest songs that are happening for Carnival. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in the evening you'll get more of a concert vibe. And
what is the like concert music? Is there one specific sound, or is it just like whatever?
It's all soca all season long. Like you're not getting anything else.
Yeah,
you're getting only soca. There might be a few parties that will throw in maybe a hip hop set or a reggae set, but during Carnival. It's very rare. You're only getting soca.
This wildly ignorant question: what's soca's sound?
Soca is the happiest sound that you'll ever hear. So soca music, you know what? It really is just the happiest music, and it's a mix between, they want to say, calypso and reggae.
Oh, okay.
And the thing, so calypso's kind of like a sweeter vibe. Like you might hear some pen in calypso. Soca now, actually, you will hear some, like, steel pan I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's like a little bit of a mixture of that. It's not too like, there's different genres of soca. So there's soca, and then there's groovy soca, which is slower.
Right.
And then there's power soca, which is the songs that
are just hard hitting.
Yeah.
That's
the
great.
ones that give you goosebumps.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I just, as somebody who's not as musically inclined, anytime that I'm hearing about like a new subset of music, I'm like, I am intrigued by this, because I don't think I've ever, or like if I've heard it, I've just not been aware.
Yes.
So if we're dealing in performances that are exclusively soca, it seems like the evening parties, which these are predominantly happening during, seem to be leaning even more of like a cultural celebration. Like, obviously every party is a cultural celebration, but the inclusion of like performances of soca music, and maybe I'm just projecting that if I'm incorrect.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, because there's pretty much performances at all, and then the DJs are playing the soca music. Playing soca music anyways, so it's just the biggest songs of the season. They have the performers coming out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is all the top 40 hits that you've been hearing.
Yes.
Now it's live performances.
Right. Exactly.
It's your Coachella, basically.
I was just gonna say, so it's your Coachella. So it's the songs that you're hearing in the party anyways. The songs that you can't get enough of, you're also gonna hear.
That's great.
Your artist perform them, which is even better because your adrenaline and the vibes go through the roof at that point.
That strikes me as a Gryffindor. Like, very, very much so.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so that's our evening, and then we've got night parties.
And then, so then you'll have, so the evening parties, I would say the evening parties could just also be night.
Oh, okay.
Parties, because some people will take, like, that break. Some people go party to party to party.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would say those parties are generally...
I understand.
Same, yeah.
Okay, great. So now that's one half of Carnival. Then you mentioned the other half of Carnival is Mass.
Right. Well, I mean, I want to just go in between that real quick.
Yes, please do.
Sure.
In between that, so there's not only the parties, there's also more cultural stuff. So there's something called Pan Semi-Finals. And the Pan Semi-Finals are literally bands of steel pan players. And there's different bands. So there's a whole competition to see who's going to win.
Oh, that's great.
Pan. So then you can go to pan yards where they practice, and you can also just go see them practice. So that's a full cultural thing. If you don't want to just go to parties, you're gonna go hear pan. And as I mentioned before, soca music being the happiest music, hearing pan being played is out of this world. It's like the most beautiful sound, because it's just, if I had something on my phone to play for you guys, but it's, I don't know, I can't put it into words. Once again, it's a feeling. It's a feeling that you feel. In between pan yards and the parties. But then, so Mass is something that you're kind of looking forward to the whole time. But some people do go to Carnival just for the parties, and then they'll leave. Some people come just for Mass, and then they'll leave. Not me, though, because I'll do everything. So Carnival Monday. So before Carnival Monday is the main Juve. So you could get a Juve party, like Caesar's Army is a company that does a Juve party before you're supposed to. So Juve traditionally is always supposed to be the Monday morning, Sunday night, Monday morning. So Juve will start at 2 a.m. and take you till maybe 8 or 9 a.m. So that is in the streets, and that's powder and paint or chocolate or whatever.
You're coming out very messy.
Yes. So then maybe between... after Juve, you'll get maybe a couple hours to sleep before you get up to get ready for Monday, on the Carnival Monday. And you're out, so guys will pretty much wear whatever, shorts and nothing else, shorts. Girls can come out in anything. Then I love Carnival Monday the most because I get to be creative in what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
So I always will go with a one-piece swimsuit, and then accessorize it to the to the gods.
degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This year I wore like a burnt orange monokini, and you always wear like stockings, like fishnet stockings that are like skin tone, but they're glitter.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
Yeah, and then so with like boots that come up to here. So I did the burnt orange and all rose gold accessories. So my boots were all rose gold. I had a belt. I had like a garter made out of like cubic zirconia diamonds, and so you kind of just go
Like you can just be seen from space, honey.
yeah, you can just
great.
be do the most.
Because women are just stepping out. That's like a good excuse to be like, hello, I've arrived.
Yes,
That's
exactly,
amazing.
exactly. So that's Carnival Monday. Most people don't party Monday night because your feet are killing you.
Yeah.
Right.
But that goes all day. So you're going on the road maybe from 9 or 10 a.m. And then you're getting home at around 9 or 10 at night. So you're going all day anyways. And then Carnival Tuesday, you're getting up much earlier. And
I thought I thought you said the first thing on Carnival Monday was like 3 a.m.
Yeah, Juve.
Right.
Right.
So you're getting up earlier than that.
No.
Oh,
sorry. So Tuesday, to go on the road, I mean.
I see.
With your costume.
Gotcha.
Tuesday, most girls, actually some girls do have to wake up around 2 a.m. or something to start doing their makeup,
Sure.
to go to makeup artists. I don't do that because I can't. I just can't deal. But I'll do my own makeup. But Carnival Tuesday is when you're wearing your full costume. So we're talking feathers and beads and jewels and all those things. And that's the competition day kind of thing, because Carnival it's a competition. You're crossing the stage and your band is being judged.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so Carnival Tuesday is your pretty mass, and yeah.
Is there, just because at least from a Judeo-Christian perspective, like, does Mass have any religious, or is that just like a different terminology there as far as
Masquerade?
Oh,
yeah.
there
Sorry.
we go.
Yeah, sorry.
The
Yeah.
whole time you were saying mask,
You're thinking
mask, I was like,
MASS.
yes.
No, just MAS.
I see.
Yeah, sorry.
I
Michael
apologize.
thought you were rolling up to church in a monokini.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
this is
no.
just another section of the road, the street party. Right? So there's 2 days of the street party.
Gotcha.
Mass is masquerade.
Well, I just knew that, like, in Trinidad, I know that there's like a pretty strong Christian, or there's like some Christian hold, so I wasn't sure if that was
there's
like a component.
Christian, Muslim, Hindu.
It's like it's a very diverse.
It's extremely
area.
diverse.
Oh, yeah.
You have like blacks, Indians, Chinese, white. Yeah.
Okay, Mass is not.
Yeah,
I feel
sorry.
so silly.
I should have. I can only imagine what you were thinking the whole time I kept saying Mass.
I was just like, I was waiting. I was like, and then there's going to be a religious thing, and I'm like, no,
Right.
there still isn't a religious
Even
thing.
so, even if there was, who are we to judge?
No, I know.
Not our
Like,
celebration.
I actually love the idea of like a very fashion-forward religious experience. Like, I am all up on that.
Not religious.
Okay, so Monday versus Tuesday, do you feel that there is a difference between them as far as sorting would be concerned?
Okay, so I would maybe say because Tuesday is considered pretty mass, we could say that, but I don't. It's hard because people really let loose. I mean, there's people up on walls. There's people climbing on gates. One of the biggest songs this year was a song called Soca Kingdom, which actually won the Road March. So Road March is the song that's played the most on the road. And that song is like, there's lines in it that say like whining all in front of the people's business place, because that's pretty much what you're doing. You're on the road, you're stopping in front of somebody's business, and you're holding onto their door, you're climbing up onto their building on top of roofs. There's people literally everywhere doing the most. So it's not stush at all, except for the girls that go up on the trucks and they're looking down.
Yeah, they're like queens.
They're like yes.
Everybody.
Yes, yes, exactly, just like that. There's a meme actually from Twilight, the movie Twilight, where all the vampires, like the bad vampires, are looking down.
Yeah,
like their
those
hair's
bougie
like,
ones. Yeah,
yeah, they're looking down, and they're like, oh, the girls that are on top of the music trucks in Carnival. And we're like, yes.
But for the most part, over both days, you're just there to let loose.
Letting loose completely.
Absolutely. Okay.
No
great.
stush vibes.
Oh, and I just realized, I think there is a soca song that you would know. I think that most people would know, even if they've never been to Trinidad. And you can tell me if I'm completely wrong. Just showing my whole butt right now. But I remember, because I was just soca. I think, and this might be like a cross-genre song, I'm pretty sure "Who Let the Dogs Out" by the Baja Men is like
No.
from they're not from Trinidad at all.
No, that's a reggae song.
Exclusively reggae.
I am so sorry.
No, that's okay.
I just remember like looking up little things about Trinidad because I knew we were going to talk. And I just remember like the Baja Men are from Trinidad. I don't know what I know.
I remember this. Oh, actually, you know what?
Hold on, let me look this up.
The party was nice.
I'm
Party
just being
was jumping.
offensive.
Yippee-yi-yo. Actually, you know what? It might be
Let's see here.
it might be a little bit of a cross.
Because it's saying Calypso,
But it's not a popular song.
Junkanoo and Soca. So maybe it's just in like, there might be
Junkanoo
just,
is Bahamas.
Oh.
So maybe it's just something
they
like
are
there might
called
be
the
like
Baja Men.
little parts of
Oh.
like there might be part of the instrumentation or even the composition of the music
Yes,
that has influence. But
yeah.
it's okay.
You know what a popular soca song actually is?
Yeah.
That made a really good crossover into like TV shows. I think it was even in Grey's Anatomy. Is Differentology by Bungie Garlin. And do you know that song?
Yeah, a little
It's
bit.
oh my gosh. Oh, look how the sun now rising up and the crowd now waking up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
Miss Queen
great.
Have I.
Oh, I've heard
that's
that.
like-
Yeah. Wow, I sang it that well?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that song is about Juve.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying like because when you get to Juve, it's dark outside.
Right.
And you're like, that's when I'm getting like chills.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, like there's when that song first came out, and you were in Juve, and that song started playing, and the sun started coming up really, and you're singing along, it's like...
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so you're saying, like, look how the sun's now raising up, the crowd's waking up now, because you're tired. When you're in Juve, you're tired. You're not, like, full of energy.
Right.
So now you're saying the atmosphere has vibes, and, you know, nothing can, like, stop it, essentially.
I mean, once you're up and you're hit with a waft of paint, I'm sure that's the best alarm clock in the world.
Exactly, and you're probably cold because it's a little bit cold at that point, and you're like you're crying. But yeah, when that sun comes up and you know then your energy really does get restored.
That sounds.
But yeah, so
amazing.
Differentology, Bungie Garlin is I think a really good crossover song. They did play it in a lot of TV shows.
That's
and such.
perfect. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else you might know. You might know Jump. You make me wanna jump around the place.
Oh,
yeah.
That's also that's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's a Bayesian artist, Barbados.
Oh, gotcha.
I see. Okay, so we've somewhat sorted Carnival. I think, like, largely we're just going to say, like, it's a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've actually dealt a little bit with music already with soca. Is there more musical influence within Trinidad or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna say so soca is derived from calypso.
Mm-hmm.
So there's calypso and there's a steel pan.
Mm-hmm.
There is then there's soca.
Mm-hmm.
And actually a lot of I don't know if this is true. But it could be that reggae was actually invented by a Trini.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also, around Christmas time, our Christmas music is called parang.
Parang?
Yeah. So it's like kind of a mixture between Spanish music and Christmas music.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, and it's very high tempo, and it's upbeat, and it's...
That's so fun. I like, now that I think about it, there aren't... It's like a 50-50 blend as far as like American Christmas music goes. That's like slow, and then like the other half is probably just more modern Christmas songs
Mariah
that
Carey.
are like exactly. That was like the only one that was coming to mind.
Mariah Carey, that's it.
But like it's like your White Christmas and all of those songs are like super slow, and so I like the idea of like fast Christmas.
Yeah, it's
music.
fast because I'm trying to think if there's a slow parang song, but there's really not. Like it just. A lot of the songs sing about Trini Christmas food.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's one song that's like, I want a piece of pork.
Yeah.
I want a piece of pork for my Christmas. And there's other ones that are just, like, the more Spanish ones, which is my favorite. They're like, oh, la, 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 mamacita.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just, like, they're just super fun. Like, there's one that Santa's looking for a wife.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just...
Like, when you think about that, that pretty much sounds like Christmas music, maybe not less like the sort of like hymnal kind of stuff, but like all of like the regular like secular music is always gonna be like, here are the foods at Christmas I'm trying to eat.
Yes.
Here's who I want to see. My mom.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's the exact same stuff, but it's just like more fast beat.
Yeah.
That's like
Right.
that's the vibe I feel like every American Protestant Christmas song is. It's like, hello, I am happy.
Right. So I love just
whereas other people actually know how to emote happiness.
Yeah. And then I guess other than that music, there's Tassa. So Tassa is, oh my gosh, and there's Chutney. So Chutney music is Indo-Trinidadians.
Okay.
And that's, well, not only anymore. It's not only Indian Trini singing it. There's Black Trini singing Chutney also, and it's more of an Indian vibe. There's Chutney Soca, which is a conversion of the two. And most of these songs tell stories about, like, my wife left me.
Yeah.
Like, things like that, but upbeat, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're, like, funnier songs that are just, like, maybe ironic or things like that. It's not, like, country music, my wife left me.
Gotcha.
Right.
You know?
So Chutney tends to tell a story.
Yes.
There's a part of me, sorry to bring it back to sorting for a moment. I think Parang and Soca feel Gryffindor to me and I think some of that just comes from the energy that both genres bring.
Right.
Chutney, I think, might be a Ravenclaw based on the, like, turn that it's doing of, like, hey, I'm being a little bit clever now, of, like, I'm telling a sad song, but I'm doing it with this up-tempo. I'm leaning into the idea of, like, satirical music.
Right. Yeah.
And it's always kind of like the vibe of, like, you can talk about sad stuff but still give the impression, like, when I have hope, I'm going to keep moving on. And that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like ska music, actually, a lot of that is, like, pretty, like, sad or angry, but, like, it's all upbeat. Or at least, like, I often, the songs that I listen to. And then there's Pan.
So there's Pan, which are the steel drums. And then there's Tassa, which are... I want to say kind of like bongos.
Yeah.
So they'd be like around your neck and you're like beating from both sides, which is super fast.
Oh.
You would normally hear Tassa though at weddings and things like that. And they also have like tambourines mixed in. So there's maybe like 5 Tassa guys.
So it's all like really percussion, like heavy.
Yes.
Great.
Is it more
And
showy? No.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm leading with a few questions that might
Like
help
you'll
us
watch,
sort it.
maybe you might watch, but you're not just watching. Like you're definitely dancing.
Right.
I see.
And then there's like a rhythm section. Not rhythm, but RIDDIM. Rhythm section, which is
Rhythm.
all drums. And you'll find these in most parties too. Like they'll be playing while the music is playing.
Yeah.
Which is super fun too. And
Like,
I think those are the mains.
Typically, like, how big would, like, a rhythm section be? Like, how many... Like,
Rhythm sections can go from 2 people to 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, these are the huge drums. Like, guys are sitting on top of the drums, like, straddling the drum, and they're beating it like this, or with beating it with the sticks.
Yeah. Like, I love this kind of music because it's, like, it's very much, like, it's always, like, there's so much technical skill involved, but it's also, like, never, like hoity-toity in a way. Like, it's just, like, I'm gonna make this noise, and it's gonna tell you exactly how I feel,
right?
While like not even necessarily like even with the other music pieces, you'll understand exactly what this is about just off of the way that we're banging on these drums or like hitting the tambourine. I love it.
Also, this sounds like it would be such a workout.
Oh yeah, for
Like-
these guys. Well, the dancing is for sure,
Right.
And
But
then,
like if you're just playing for an hour
I didn't mean
set
the
or
tambourine,
something.
I meant the cymbals.
Oh, the cymbals.
Like the.
But if you're sitting on a drum and you're like hammering down with sticks, you have got to be fit. Like your endurance has to be like through the roof. And then I'm sure like that. I'm just thinking in my head like if someone's like, "Oh, I'm a drummer," like in the States, you're just like, okay. But if you are in Trinidad and you're like, "I'm a drummer," you're like, oh, that
it's like vibes on 100. It's not, I'm not gonna say like drummers in the States are not vibes on 100 too.
No.
But I mean, these guys are like,
right. You're not
They're
sitting on
drumming,
a drum. Like
Right,
there's
exactly.
there's a different like I guess maybe also when I am like drummers in the States, I'm thinking like jazz drumming, which is just like it's like a smaller drum like in general, but like drum kits obviously you have to be moving very fast. I am not trying to get any of the drummers who listen to our podcast
We
upset
have
with
another
me.
drummer feud.
Oh man, I don't need more drummer feuds.
He just got Ringo to stop sending him angry letters. All right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Octopus's Garden is the best music written by the Beatles, as I have to contractually obligated say. But okay, so shall we move from music? Should we talk food or lifestyle?
Well, I
could talk food,
but I also want to hear like some of your favorite fashion that comes out of Trinidad too. Before
Okay.
if we got time.
I will say for fashion that I don't know. We'll say so. Enya Yangchi is a fashion designer in Trinidad, and she actually won Fashion Runway. I want to say is the name of the show.
Yeah.
And that was a mainstream show in America.
Yeah.
She's Chinese Trinidadian, and so it was just a really big deal that she won. Now her fashion sense, I want to say, she recently just got married, and she wore like a kind of something like a headpiece. She like feathered headpiece for her wedding. Now Trinidadian fashion, I'm gonna say is island chic again, and island chic would be when it comes to prints. A lot of African prints are in style right now. Two pieces, but matching. But when it really comes to fashion, when you're thinking Trinidadian fashion, you're really going towards Monday wear and swimwear.
Gotcha.
So they do different types of cuts for swimsuits, things like that. A lot of the Monday wear, they just take to different levels. Like there's one that I've been seeing a lot lately. They have like mirrored pieces all over the swimsuit. So we're talking on a monokini, which is a one piece.
Right.
It's mirrored pieces all over, and then you're also going to have the matching boots, and you're going to have things like that. So if we're talking...
So you just got a shimmer about you.
Yes, exactly. So that's, those are... I guess that's what I would say the most fashion-y things for Trinidad.
Is it at all like close to like what that sort of like beach island vibe would be here in like Orlando, Miami sort of stuff?
You know what? I would say it's like Coachella, but a little bit more color.
Gotcha. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Where do you think that this might be sorted, Reed?
Let's see. Because I think like there's so much innovation that goes into like figuring out like how can you make a monokini again, like you have so little
every single year and make it different and make it not copying somebody else's design.
And when you think about it, designing a new like bathing suit is a lot more challenging than people give it credit for. You have a lot less real estate usually to cover than say like a head to toe like ensemble. So I'm gonna say like especially like also like figuring out a way to make animal prints fresh and stuff like that, or mirrored pieces fresh and still like evoke like different eras that you want to call back to, but make it your own. I think that takes like Ravenclaw level smarts.
Oh, see, I was seeing it as a Slytherin in the fact that it's taking those things but being really clever and innovative about it. Because I mean, like Slytherin and Ravenclaw share so many things, and I also am leaning a little more Slytherin based on the fact that like you want that thing to pop, you want that spotlight, which is more of a Slytherin trait. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing, which so many people, we always are like, no, Slytherin gets a bad rap, but like they're just that misunderstood house.
They just take the spotlight, they're not afraid to say that they're going to take the spotlight.
Right.
But we don't necessarily need to land one way or the other. Unless you're feeling like it's a Ravenclaw or a Slytherin and you can be our tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I want to say, I mean,
I do
agree with you that it takes different levels of smarts, because if we're not only talking Monday wear, we're talking actual costume designs. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult to come up with something new, something that you know that it has to sell. You don't want to not sell the costume.
Because
actually, I feel like I have to go.
That's fair. That's fair.
I would say
I play devil's advocate.
In general, what people don't realize is that when you are a fashion designer, you're pretty much an architect on somebody's body.
Right.
Yeah, and so like that's why they call it building the garment instead of like sewing, because that's doing seamstress work.
Yeah.
What's a male? Are you a seamstress even if you're a man?
I think it's gender neutral, but maybe I'm wrong.
The fact that I don't know it means that the whole world is too sexist.
So, shall we move from fashion to food?
My favorite topic.
Me too. Tell me the food. What am I eating if I'm going to Trinidad?
Okay, normally the first stop would be doubles. So what doubles are is oh my gosh, how do I explain this? 2 fried pieces of bread, we're going to call it.
Great.
So they're round. It's called Barra. It's made out of, I don't know what's actually in Barra. Like, I want to say just flour and such. Anyways, those 2 pieces are fried and they're fluffy. They're round. They're about, this size, like a small side plate.
Yeah.
And then inside is what's the important part, which is curried chickpeas. And then you're going to get cucumber chutney. You're going to get pepper sauce on it. You're going to get, what else is on there? Some people do, Google that. So, doubles is like street food. You could just stand there and eat outside from the doubles man, like their cart. You could stand there with your napkin and then just eat. I would probably eat 2 or 3. Some people will stand there and eat, I don't know, more. So that's street food. Other people, yeah, because it's delicious. Other people will go and get KFC. KFC in Trinidad is a big thing.
Wait, really?
Yes.
In other countries, like, KFC is like the thing.
KFC is the thing. I guess it's because the chickens are grown organically.
Oh, good.
And you're getting, and it's seasoned.
Oh, yeah, the seasoning's going to be different.
Yeah. Exactly. So you can get original, you can get spicy. Spicy, I always get my favorite, and you specify, obviously, like in thigh or breast and wing. And then at KFC there, you get, all the restaurants you go to, you get pepper sauce. You're getting their own type of pepper sauce. KFC pepper sauce, I love. So there's that, or you can go get roti. There's different types of roti.
Roti's delicious.
You can get,
What is roti?
So roti is like also bread.
Oh, okay.
So roti, you can get a flat one that's kind of like non-bread, or I'm sorry, pita bread.
Gotcha.
So that's a large round one. You would more get that with breakfast foods. Then there's 2 other kinds that are, one's called bus up shot, and another one is called dal puri. So dal puri roti, it's also large, but in the middle of it is dried. It's dal, but what's the other word? What's the word? Regular people word for dal?
Regular people word.
Split peas.
Oh,
okay.
right.
So it's split peas and it's crushed in the middle of it, so it's dry. But dal puri is not my thing. But that's, if you want a roti that's wrapped like a sandwich, that's where you're gonna get.
This roti is like this. Did it come from the Indian subcontinent first, and then because you guys have a lot of cultural overlap? Because I also know that like the Indian, especially pop culture, I would know better than other stuff, has a lot of Caribbean influence on it too. So I think that's such an interesting crossover.
Yeah, because Trinidad is made up of East Indians and Africans.
Gotcha. Okay, so they have a big population there. That actually says everything.
Right. So the roti is Indo-Trinidadian.
Gotcha.
And then there's also, so the bus up shot is my favorite type of roti, and that's, they make it on like a large flat pan called a tawa. All roti is made on a tawa. And it's a lot of oil front and back, and then there's something called, it's a big long steak. It's a big long flat steak, and they beat the roti so that it's like rip apart, like and it's real fluffy. And you're eating roti with curry or with. There's a lot of food that you're gonna eat roti with. But yeah, so Trinidadian food is just.
I mean, holistically,
a lot.
Definitely a Hufflepuff, because it just it sounds like it's fairly filling while also not being like super rough on the stomach. As far
right. Well, I mean,
you've got your spices, but
yeah. So curry will have a lot of spices. I feel like the only thing that might be rough on anyone's stomach is the amount of pepper sauce that they put on their food.
And that's to one's discretion,
right?
At least there. Like we actually, when we were doing our hot sauces episode, I believe we had a Trinidadian.
So maybe we had scorpion pepper.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
and I loved the flavor of it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like the Trinidadian pepper sauce, it's flavorful. As some are hotter than others, which is scorpion, but they're flavorful.
Yeah, no, like you find you always have to find a balance where you're like, oh, there's a reason it's hot because it's bringing out more of the sweet notes, it's bringing out more of the savory notes, which then are bringing it out more in the food that you're putting on.
Right. Yeah.
No, we didn't talk about pudding at all.
All right.
Sorry, that was real dumb. That was a real dumb joke.
I see what you did there.
We have a guest.
I know. I understand.
Please.
Let's close out with lifestyle as like a good, comfortable way to.
Okay, lifestyle. Trini lifestyle is. I mentioned this to you earlier. Is very laid back.
Yeah.
I feel personally that in Trinidad you're not really stressed out. You're kind of just going with the flow of your day. Mm-hmm. But also being late all the time. Like nobody. There's zero urgency. My sister will tell me, I'll be waiting for my sister for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
5 hours.
Yeah.
She'll be like, I'm on my way. And she'll probably just be laying in bed.
Yeah, she's like still in her towel, like,
yeah.
on my way.
And I'm like, are you actually coming right now? Or like, can I go do stuff and then come back? Like, or what's your deal?
Yeah.
So always late. And like and I don't even live in Trinidad and I'm always late. And I just have to blame it on being Trini. But my New Year's resolution was to be less late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not to be on time, but
be
to be less late.
I'm not from Trinidad, but the struggle's still real. There are occasions where Michael will be like, "Are you on your way?" And I will still be in bed, like, yes.
Actually, you were late today, so
on the podcast,
roasted.
Oh my
so
gosh.
You might be a little bit more Trini than me because I was on time.
And I walked in with a Starbucks, like, "Hey guys,
I'm late, but I have my coffee."
There's
and
nothing
it's
I
full.
could do.
There's nothing I could do. That's me. That's me too. I'm late.
Maybe I'm secretly from Trinidad. I'm just the whitest person from Trinidad ever born.
I would like everything you've talked about makes me so intrigued about Trinidad, but
Same.
that one component of like everybody doesn't hold to a schedule would make me like
it's
a
just
little
like,
crazy.
Yeah, it's like it's like some people do, but but it just gives you more time.
Yeah.
Like I'll tell you for boat cruises and like because I'm on a committee where we throw parties, we tell people, listen, you have to be there for this time, an hour ahead for them to come. An hour ahead of the time they're supposed to be there for.
Yeah.
Because people will show up to boat cruises.
Right. And
the
that's
boat cruise is supposed to leave at 2.
Yeah.
People will show up at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you're like, okay, well, we're leaving now. Like, we're leaving now.
That's like the one time that you're like, no, this is, we stick to a schedule here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, unlike us though here in America where like, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. They're probably going to live longer. Their hearts aren't going to give out at 45 like ours.
No.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's so much stress in Canada and in the States, I find. Like, everything is just so stressful. And at least, I mean, of course, being courteous of other people's time.
Sure.
And actually showing that you care by being on time.
Yeah.
Those are important aspects. But
Absolutely.
I mean, the stress level that it is in Canada and the States is not the same as it is in the Caribbean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just like
especially when you're surrounded by beauty.
Mm-hmm.
People and
just
the atmosphere.
Yeah, right.
I'm like beautiful in beautiful places like that. If you can't just lay down and enjoy it, why are you there?
Right.
Yeah, if I were to go to Trinidad, I'd need to set aside probably 2 weeks. The first week would be me just like being like, why aren't I moving faster through all of this? And the second week I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm chilling out.
Just go with the flow, yeah.
We'd have to put in your schedule for you the block of time, a full week. This is time for Michael chills out.
Yeah, I mean, or if I showed up during Carnival, that would be a frenetic time for me and probably all right.
I think if you went during Carnival, that's the one time that you could schedule everything. And because I know a guy, he's not Trini, he goes to Trinidad by himself. I met him in Trinidad. He was staying at an Airbnb that I was staying at. And he schedules his full 2 week or his full week or whatever the case may be. And he even schedules in when he's going to sleep.
Wow.
Because he has
That's
everything.
even more intense than anything I do.
Yeah, I'm like that sounds like stress, but
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah.
Do you, boo? Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah,
boo.
no, if he's like, this is how I stay the least stressed out, and
Yeah.
I get to see everything.
Exactly.
I think it's safe to say that lifestyle can holistically be sorted into Hufflepuff. Does that seem fair? I mean, Hufflepuff is a comfort house.
Oh yeah, because for the most part, you're describing like people who like know their worth overall, who know like I'm gonna have a good time.
Yes.
And that's Gryffindor and Hufflepuff all the way, baby.
And with that, I'd like to thank you, Azalea, for joining us on
Thank
this
you.
episode of The Sorting Hat. If we are trying to find more from you or more about Trinidad's culture, where might we look on the internet?
You can check out my Instagram page at Azalea Zoe, AzaleaZoe, or you can check out my YouTube channel that's about carnivals and things like that around the world, and that is youtube.com/Azalea Zoe as well.
Great.
Yeah.
If you would like more from myself or Reed, you can find me at Belated Media. You can find Reed at That Dang Dingus. You can, of course, follow the pod at sortinghat_pod and give us a review on Apple Podcasts and all that good stuff. You've all been fantastic. Thank you again for joining us, Azalea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love this.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Oh my
Bye.
gosh.